Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'm inside because, well, it's raining and I have a new little setup here, which is just a curtain and a table, but it's I have some lights, so I hope that this video is okay. I have this Jade forest here. Well, it's not really forest, it's the group of 7 trees, but they're getting some maturity and they're also getting very top heavy. When I wiggle this, you see how heavy all these branches are in the top, and well, it is time to do a serious prune back on these guys. So let's come a little closer and have a look. So jades are succulents, and well, some people say you cannot make bonsai with succulent plants because they don't produce any wood, which is technically true, but I think that it looks really nice. And if you live in a temperate climate like I do, well, it is nice to have some plants that you can keep inside without getting them sick, because, well, most of the trees that I have, well, they need to be outside during the winter. So here you have a 360 of the trees, and yeah, well, let's start with the main tree here. So it has a nice trunk, and then it divides here, and it divides again here in two, but I think that this portion is becoming very heavy. So there's a leaf here that I don't like, it's too low. This one is also getting a little bit in the way. And then we have that little branch here that should be a little shorter. Then we have this big branch here that I probably can reduce up to here. And then the top one, I'm also going to get that out. I'm just going to get this portion off. Okay, like so. Now let me see. There is a leaf here that doesn't do a whole lot of good, so you can always reduce the leaves. And then there's this branch growing to the inside, but yeah, I'm just going to remove the top here, which will clear everything up. And as you will see, the carnage cam on these things is always kind of dramatic. So now in the top, I'm just going to reduce everything. There is this branch in the back, which I can reduce. And there's some back branches here too, you can probably see them. So that's not really what I want, because they're higher than the top. And so, well, that's gonna be some Hail Mary here, but it's Jade, you know. Okay, same for the branch here. I think this is supposed to be the top, so I don't think that I like this being higher, so I'm really going to remove it, well, here and here. So there's nothing left there, but that doesn't matter. And the same here in the back. Okay, now this sets the, I'm also going to remove this and this. This sets the maximum height for the forest, because, well, this is the highest portion. Okay, so everything should be shorter than that. Now let's have a look at the tree here. It's getting really heavy. Now I like the fact that I have a few branches on the side here, especially this one. This one is a little bit too low, so, or is it? Yes. And then we have these little guys here, which are hiding the trunk. So I can remove these. Like so. And then we have a few here in the back, which are not ideal. So let's get rid of these two. Trying to get that flush. Okay. So now this is a little bit of a problem. This is a good branch, but so heavy. So I'm just going to remove it. And then this will be my new top. And I like the top to come this way. So you see, there are two broad leaves here, one and one here. Now if I cut here, this is what I'm going to do, there will be a shoot here and a shoot there, and I'm going to keep the shoot here, which will be the new top, and I don't need this. So I'm going to also reduce this, and then this big branch in the back. Okay. So let me see. Yeah, here I have bar branches. Don't want that, so I will remove this one. Now you cannot really do a whole lot of wrong with the jade, you know. Okay. But this looks a little more mature. So, this one, there's a nice little branch here. This is an ugly leaf, it's burned by the sun. I have to pick a top for this one, and I think that this would be a nice top. Let me see. Yeah, well, I think this is supposed to be the top, so I will remove that one. And then that little shoot here, which is an eye poker. I have a nice branch here, back side, but then this is... No, I'm going to keep this one. It's a little bit higher, which is better, so it reveals more of the trunk. Then we have good little shoots here, starting to branch out. This can become a nice side branch. This is not the top, so I'll get this out. I have a branch growing in, so that's not really needed. And this is my top. So, okay. So if this is the top, this is too high and it's growing inwards, so you don't want that either. So let's get rid of that. Okay, I like that. Now there's a little tree here in the back. It has nice ramifications already. I don't really need that whole thing here. I'm just going to remove a whole portion of it. Like so. And that's all for that one. It's a small tree. This is a nice back branch. But I think that this whole thing here is a little bit too heavy, so let's reduce that considerably. Okay. Then we have a little one here. So I don't like the fact that it has these two low branches here, so I'm gonna give them a little snip and then break them off. Then you have a quite clean cut. Same here. It's too heavy, so I'm gonna reduce it. And I have a shoot here which might become a nice leader for this tree. So let's keep that one. And then we have the final tree, I think it's this one. Also getting quite heavy. So removing that. And then I have this little new shoot here that might become an interesting top for this tree. And so that's it. I think I have it. Okay. I'm going to get my knob cutters now. I have to clean up the wounds now, but look at this. It is the carnage cam. Yeah, well, it really shows that, especially with jades, you have to get off a whole lot sometimes. So this is just getting all these little wounds as flush as possible. You don't want bumps and things like that. Doesn't look good. This one is difficult to access. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is kind of boring, I guess, so I'll shut down the camera. I think this is all nicely cleaned up now. I just missed one. It's always one you miss. Okay. So, now what I'm trying to do is to have a little look. See if I don't have any bar branches. Also, an interesting thing to do is look at the big leaves. If you want the bud here to open, you have to remove the leaf. You can always leave a little stump, it will fall off. And also, but I'm searching for an example here. Also, where there is a new branch, sometimes you have the old leaf, and well, it's no use keeping that leaf, but I don't really see an example here at this very moment. Okay, so well, maybe I'll find one and then I'll show you. Now, the last thing that I'd like to do is get all these rocks off and get the surface brushed up and then replace the topsoil with some new substrate. Now, jades are not known for having good nebari, good root spread, and well, that's a sad truth, but what I'm always trying to do is just cleaning up the surface. And if I see a root that is really not nice, like I have a few here, I will cut off that root. And I hope that eventually the only roots remaining will be good ones. So don't think it is really possible to have a perfect nebari with jades, but doesn't mean you can give it a shot. So if you look at that root here, it's really next to the tree, so I'm going to try to remove that. And by doing that, other roots will take over. And that should help a little. I'm going to take my knife and try to cut away what I really don't want here. And of course that leaves a scar, but that will heal, of course. And because I'm not repotting this tree, well, I don't think he's going to mind a whole lot. So I think this was the worst root that I had. And the others, well, they don't look spectacular, but they are not defectuous roots. So that's good. Okay. I'm now going to add a layer of fresh soil. Here. And I'm working that in. And I'm not going to use any rocks, I think. Well, if I use them, it's just a question of decoration, so maybe just one would be nice. But most of the rocks that were in this tree, they were there to hold the trees in position while I was planting them. Since I'm not repotting this, there's no need to have that much rocks or stones. Okay. Like so. So maybe one stone, let me see. One in the front or one in the back. I think I prefer the front then. Okay, let's do it that way. Always try to work your rocks in a little so that it doesn't look that you just got them there, but that they are a part of the landscape. So always try to get some substrate around it. It makes everything look more natural. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to clean up now and then we'll have a final look. And this concludes the work on my little jade here. Yeah, I'm happy with the result. I think it looks quite convincing. Also did a reasonable job not getting all the trees on one line. Few branches are allowed to grow out like this one, maybe for a couple of weeks. But for the rest, I think it looks rather convincing as a little group or forest. I also have a few other jades from the same plant, so identical twins, let's say, that I can add later on, and maybe one day, if I have the room to do that, and if I have a pot to put them in, because when these things have to go inside, I need pots with a tray under it, and I don't have that. So yeah, so well, maybe I make a giant forest one day, maybe in different layers, who knows. So that's something for the future. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Do all the usual YouTube stuff. Thanks again and see you next time.